Hey guys, welcome to episode 11. Today we're going to be doing quite a lot. The plan is to head through this side, as I mentioned last episode, to go through and start building the factory in terms of beefing up our power supply. So our power supply has a maximum of 3.6. We want to zoop that up to essentially be able to produce a lot more, just in anticipation for the add-ons that we're going to be doing for the factory. So I think that would be great. And then I've also prepared a little spreadsheet of all the items in the factory and what each of them are producing. I'd like to get signs to put them on all of these containers at some point, maybe just with little standing signs next to them for now, but I'll take to that spreadsheet and we can have a look. Then we've also got the complete the phase 3 achievement in the top right, and I know we've been building up a lot of versatile frames in between me doing some recordings. So I've let it run. We've built up some PCs, we've built up some modular frames, so that's been great so that we can build the trains in the network. So yeah, I think let's do that. Let me take you through the spreadsheet and then show you what we're going to do in terms of calculations, and then I can even share that with you guys as well. This is the spreadsheet, and you'll see in the top left and top right, these are the items that are currently being produced in the factory. The top left is all the ones being produced by a constructor. And in the top right is just to recap everything that has been made across the factory by assemblers and manufacturers, and then that's just to track what we have remaining. So this band is for the assemblers and this band is for the manufacturers. So for example, if we go and look at the assemblers in this zone, these are making currently 11.25 reinforced plate, and they're consuming iron and wire. And these figures are all linked up to the rest of the spreadsheet. If I change this figure, it changes those. And all across the board. So the only figure that you guys would need to manipulate if you do use this is the actual assembler's number. So if you, for example, producing 3 from there, then it calculates and does the rest. So for our current hand-in that we have to do, we've got the versatile frames already building, but we're not making modular engines, and we're currently not making adaptive controls. So you'll see here, if I was to put in 1 for the manufacturer for what modular engine, it's going to make 1, and you'll see we can't actually support that machine because it's going to eat the motors. So if I undo that and I go through to adaptive controls now and I put in a 1 for there, it's then going to show us, okay, we're short on auto and circuit boards. So now we know exactly what we need to beef up in the factory. But before we can get to that point, we're obviously going to need the power as per what we're currently going to be doing. But what we can do is we can severely underclock these machines. So if I go 0.1 in terms of the manufacturer and 0.5 in terms of the manufacturer for the modular engine, you'll see we're still clear of all these totals. So that's going to be great, and at least it'll start making these in the meanwhile while we're off building and traversing through the world. So I think that's going to be a must do. So let's build a manufacturer for the modular engine, underclocking it to 0.5, and we'll build a manufacturer for the adapter control, specifying it to 0.1. Let's go and do that, and then we'll head off to the crude oil to start making the bigger factory to make the enhanced power. With all that being said, let's go and actually start producing these adaptive and modulars. So we're going to need 2 more manufacturers. Perfect time for us to use our blueprint. Except that the struggle that we had with both these blueprints is that getting them off the belt here was a little bit problematic. So I think let's give us a little bit more space than what we did before, and also make sure at the bottom we've got enough space for the items to bring them up. So let's just have a look here. Yeah, that one's done. This is one removed. Okay. Yeah, that's enough space to bring up some items, which is great. Let's get our blueprint going for the manufacturer and give us some room. Also stand in front so that we can see where we're going to be placing on the merger, because I like to have the merger on its own block. Yeah, that looks good. And then we've got lots of room back here to work with, so that's great. Okay, so we're going to bringing up motors and smart plating. Okay, so let's work on those. So let's put a slot splitter over here and over here. Okay, and then that can bring up motors. What's happening with this line? Let's fix that. And this can be motors. And this one can be the smart. I set the overflow. Yeah, I set the overflow there. Now it's great. Cool, let's bring those up. Logistics, how do we want to do this? It would be nice to bring the one up here. Let's just see. Yeah, I could bring it there. Let's just put down this like that and like that. That way we can drop it from here and then actually connect it down at the bottom. And then it doesn't go through the floor. Okay, yep, that's looking good. Okay, so let's link this up to our belts. We can have that one there. That one there. Okay, so that's the rubber and the plating sorted. Sorry, the motor and the plating sorted. Now the only other one we need is the rubber, and that's conveniently off this bolt right here, which is great. I think that's everything we need. Now let's just run the power. Okay, then we'll also top it up with the items that we do still have available in our backpack. That's going to be filling up. Oh, yep, everything's going according to plan. Nice. Okay, so that's that one done, but we must underclock it. So if you remember, that one was going to be 0.1. Oh, sorry, this one was 0.5. Let me just double check that. Yep, 0.5 on the modular engine and 0.1 on the adaptive. So that's great. That's just going to keep ticking. Then let's do the same thing on this side. So for the other manufacturer. Okay, we short motors. Now that we threw them all in here, let's just grab these ones back. Yep, got enough now. Okay, let's give us some space again, this side. Going to be going the other way. Make sure we don't encroach too much. I just remembered we didn't actually run onto the sushi belt on the other side. Let's get this connected. That looks a little bit higher. Or is it just me? No, it is higher. That's better. Okay, and then link this one up. And this one's going to be our adaptive, making 0.1. Okay, now we're going to link up all four now, and all four of those items need to come from smart plating at the bottom. So that's going to be tricky to bring up. Let's have a look where we got some space. Don't want to get too close to that. Okay, I think let's just do it on this side to be safe. Okay, so we're going to do all four smart splitters at the bottom here, bringing them up. Let's give them a little bit more spacing for upgrading the belts, actually. Yeah, happy with that. Okay, now what do we need again? It was going to be auto wire, circuit board, heavy, and computer. Okay, so auto. Circuit boards are on this level. Yeah, circuit board, heavy, and computer. That is quite the chain. I don't think I set the overflows. Let's just go set those. Okay, that's looking good. Let's bring up all of those. Just don't have a good enough angle. Or did that go in? Don't think so. Let's just check. That's definitely not making the clicking sound. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit more over to the left. Too far over to the left. That'll work. Okay, then this one. We'll get there, we'll get there. That needs to be more to the right. There you go. Let's just remember to do that from the top next time, and I can see exactly where to place the smart splitters. Can be smart about it. Okay, so computers, heavy, circuit board, and auto wire. Yep. Okay, let's link these all up. Oh, we connected the wrong belt. Can you believe it? It happens. And we're running out of beams. Let's go get those. At least we're right by the storages. Didn't realize the height was going to be too short, so we have to use the proper conveyors or the poles. What are these? The stackable. There we go. Okay, I think that's everything linked up now. Let's get this into the power. And that's slowly going to fill up. Can just put in what we do have available. Cool. Last thing to do before we start planning the next upgrade now is just to actually enhance and put on the 2 extra storages now for those 2 items. We definitely don't want to be sinking those for the rest of the day. Okay, let's remove these. This one I think is just for the dumping, yeah. So let's add on 2 more. 1, 2, this is going to be the new one for the dump. We're going to make this one the modular engine. And overflow. This one's going to be adaptive, overflow, and the last one's just going to be for everything else, and then we're going to sync that. Cool. Just going to have one more look at the manufacturers just to make sure they're doing everything. Yeah, that's building up the motors. 0.5. Let me just check the spreadsheet quick. Yeah, that means we should be getting 1. So yeah, we're eating all our motors. So essentially we're not going to be producing more motors. So it's just going to slowly build up over time, but we're not going to build in excess because that one machine is eating them all. And then this is building up okay. The circuit boards, just checking. Yeah, we're just going to have 0.25 left. So this will again plug up over time. So the only problem with what we've done now, by going to go and set the manufacturer to 0.5 for the modular engine and for the adaptive control, is that you'll see if you go and look at our motors, we're actually producing nothing in excess. So we're never going to build up that resource, which is a problem. So let's go and look at what we need to build the motors. So let's have a quick look. Okay, so for the motors, let's double this production. So let's go from 0.2 to 0.4. So now we've got in excess now, which is perfect. The problem is that now we're falling short on the stators and the rotors. So let's go to the stators, beef that up by 2, and let's go through to the rotors, make that double to 2.4. So with all of that done, are we still in the green? Yeah. Are we still in the green here? Yes. Okay, so we can support this infrastructure. So let's go and throw in another assembler for the stators, and let's go and throw in another assembler for the rotors. Let's go double up the production. So we're going to be doubling up the production of the motors first. So this is going to go to 40% or 0.4. So we're effectively doubling that. Then we need to do the rotors and the stators. So let's just go and have a look to see where those are. This is why signs are going to be useful. Okay, so we want to double up this one because we went from 1 to 2 on this side. So let's slap on another one here. Set the overflows. Yeah, it's going to build up. Let's link it up to the power. Smash on the merger. States. Okay, so that's the status doubled. Last thing that we need to do is just to double the the rotor. That's the one. Cool, here's the rotors at this side, so we're going to be doubling this guy. Okay, set these overflows. Link it to power. Okay, and then just slap on a merger. Okay, just like that, we've doubled everything. Yeah, that's coming up with 200. The only thing I want to see is just to make sure. I know at some stage we were playing with or taking off different screws off the belts. Let's just make sure that this one actually is taking off only on that one belt. I don't think we're actually using anything for screws in the network because of the alternative recipes. So that's the only one that should be coming off on these two belts. Let me just double check. Yeah, so we're producing way in excess of the screws, which is going to be perfect. Cool, just like that we've doubled up. So I think best thing to do now is let's head back to the start hand in some of the versatile frame that we've actually been building up over time, because it's pointless that storage just filling up. And then yeah, we should be getting adaptive and modular engines as well, which will be great. So let's come this side, throw in our 3 storages. We don't actually need that many beams. Let's put some of those back now. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 45, 40, 45, 50. That's going to be 5. Do the next 500. Oh, it's going to be a little bit more than 500, but it doesn't matter. We've got to get to 2.5. It's going to take a while. Cool, and let's see. We should have at least some modular engines and some adapters. Yeah, we got those. We don't have any of those yet. Probably find that the overflow is still building them up because we are building 5-to-1 ratio. Yeah, I think it's time to get started on building out the train network. So for that, we're going to need to remove some rails here, build a train station for the starting point for our player, send all the way through past the mountain over there to the crude oil side, and then build another factory. And we'll essentially start building on that side. But in anticipation for that, it's time that we actually start using the blueprint to make those platforms. So I think let's just create a simple 4x3 platform for the blueprint, and then that'll be exclusively what we're going to be using for the trains, specifically for setting up that sort of infrastructure, because it's going to require a lot of foundation. So let's do that through this so we don't have to do it all by hand. We'll set up 2 different styles. We'll set up one with the train tracks and one without the train tracks, and then we can link them, which I think will be quite cool. So let's do this one with the train tracks. Looking good. Cool, let's save this. And then let's just remove the tracks and save that with no track. Cool, it's going to use these. Let's get our no track. Link these up. Cool, let's make this platform a bit bigger now. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Let's just build on the back, fronts, and sides now so that we can actually build the station. Yeah, then the station It's going to go in line with the one with the track. So we have to take this one now with the tracks and line it up on this side. Or is it this side? Yes, this side. Yeah, that looks good. And then the train we're going to put, train station we're going to put in line here. So this will be the train station here, making sure that the arrow's facing towards where we want to go. But you'll see we have to leave space on that right hand side to loop that line around to the back of this. So we're going to need to make this a little bit bigger, and then we can loop that around. So let's put it here. Then let's extend this platform. Generally what we want to do is we want to have a train that pulls 4 carts. So we're going to make sure that we have 4 freight platforms. Just short of computers, so let's go get some of those. Nice, the adapters and modulars are building up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, one more. 4. Now let's see how much we need to loop back at the back here. Yeah, it's looking good. Turn on a 3x3 block. Let's bring this in line with the front of the station. Okay, then the only problem we're going to have now is that this one isn't going to link up. So let's just delete that one. Then we're going to need it a half back or 1 back from this to actually link it correctly. But we can't. Oh, we can actually put the platform. That's perfect. So let's put that down. And then now we can link these two. Let's just make this platform look nice now. Extend it a bit. Cool. And then let's do one more on this side. We can match it actually. Yeah, that's looking nice. Okay, let's link this back to the train station. Slap on our train. Throw in our 4 carts. Make sure that all of these are set to unload the train so that we don't. Yeah, train set to load. So this will all go onto the train. That's what I meant. Cool, even though we don't have anything in them yet. And then let's give this the name home base. And yeah, that's what our player is going to use essentially for driving. Now you'll see we don't actually have power. We can just link that up to the building on this side. What I like to do is I like to use the platform to boost it across the rail. So we'll bring this to the middle here. Go to our architecture. Do we not have the ramps yet? Doesn't seem like we do. Good time to go and buy without tickets. And here it is underneath the frame set. These are the ones I like using. It says add that, buy it, and let's go build. Let's use the small one, bring it in front here. Same thing on the other side. go in between or in the middle of the set? In between. Here you go. And now our train doesn't actually ride through the cable. Now we can just link these up to the main line. That's looking neat. And now our train drives. Well, now all we've got to do is we just got to use the platforms that we made without the rails to extend the network. So let's go for the one with the no track. Make sure everything's lined up. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, and now one with tracks. Then we just link the tracks. Cool. I'm going to keep doing this all the way through past that side around the corner, and then yeah, we'll be back. It's been some time. I've now managed to finish the network, so I've gone the 3-1 all the way through around behind the building there, or the pillar, and that's going to lead all the way through to the crude oil there. And then you'll see in between I've actually put up the blocks for the stations so that if we have more trains running on the network, it won't stop the other trains from leaving their respective station. So yeah, let's go for a quick drive. I'll show you. We've got this station here that we've called home base, and then the next one is called, let me check in the time, is called the power plant. So we're just going to stipulate that it's got that on the train schedule, and then we'll let it take us for a drive. So let's head through that side, and then I can show you where and what we've done. So we've made allowance for the left hand side here for building up past the waterfall over that side at a later stage. That's so we can extend the factory network out that side, or at least the logistics portion. For now, this just takes us all the way through to all the crude oil, which I'll show you now when we arrive. There's also lots of nodes, like on the left hand side over there, there's a geyser that we can use for some power generation, just to offset, which would be quite cool. And then lots of other little nodes as we're driving past. You can see them on the train station here and there. And we'll eventually start building using those nodes as well. So once the logistics is set up like it is now, then it becomes really easy to expand the network, which is going to be great. On the right hand side, we've got some pathway ready to go over the hill here, because behind there's the nitrogen, and we'll get that at a later stage as well. And then you can see the remnants of the stairs that I've been building just to go and get the hard drives for the research. Actually got a really nice hard drive research done for the beams, the industrial beams, to actually use the pipes instead of the steel beams. So that's going to be a good recipe that we can switch out in the factory as well, because we're making quite a lot of the pipes as opposed to the beams. Cool, so here's the area that we're going to be building the power plant in. So I'm just going to stop the train. Jump out. You'll see, essentially we've got a lot of nodes here. We've got that one over there, that one over there, there, and I think there's another one somewhere. Yeah, there and there. So yeah, we've got a lot of nodes to actually start digging into, which is going to be really cool. Just have to come and clear it out a bit, and that's not a problem. And of course, while we've been doing this and adventuring and getting the logistics network done for the train, all the meanwhile it's been building up the resources for handing in for the completion of tier 3 for the adaptive and the modular. So by the time we get back to base now, we should be able to hand that in, which will be awesome. I think that's everything in the immediate vicinity. Let's just build a platform up now to the top. And then we'll head back to base and hand in the hand in the 500 for the modular and the 100 for the adaptive, and finish off the versatile. All of these are set to load, so it's not going to unload the train. And what I've done is I've actually taken the time and I've put everything that we may need in terms of adventuring out in the world, so that we don't have to keep heading back to base for things. So things like the industrial beam, extra concrete, pipes, conveyors, all that sort of stuff is packed in the trains. So we'll let this dock, and then we'll let it take us to the home station. And then then we can hand in. So I'll let the train get there and I'll see you just now. Back at home base, let's do this hand. Okay, so we're going to need quite a lot of versatile frames. Let's go and get those first. Might actually be best if we create some extra space in our bags. So let's just create an industrial, and then we'll just dump all our stuff in there. Okay, so that's the versatile. Let's go grab the modular engines. Oh, almost. We're just a little bit short. I think that's 410. Then the adaptives. I think the reason why the modular didn't finish is because I had a problem with the motors going up to the modular engine manufacturer, so I sorted that out, so that's why it's a little bit behind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait by the modular engine, get the remaining ones, and then I'll top it up, and then I'll see you shortly. Hey guys, it took a little time, but let's hand it. Everything's now been loaded. Let's send off. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so we're into the final tier. Let's have a look-see. So we're just going to complete off the pipeline engineering that we can do in with a quick hand. So let's go and get some of that stuff. Let me just select the milestone so I can track. So rubber, plastic, and copper. And that concludes that for tier tier 6.
Milestone reached.
The next things we're going to be looking at is tier 7 and tier 8, obviously, leading up to production of the parts for completing phase 4. Definitely going to look at the bauxite refinement, but in anticipation for expanding the network to be able to do these, we're going to have to finish that power plant. So the next episode we'll build the power plant on the other side of where we are for the crude oil, that side, get that up and running to support the factory, and then we'll start beefing up all the production, and then we'll definitely look at going through the bauxite refinement, get the blender, and then we can start looking at nitrogen later. But yeah, I think that's perfect for episode 11. I'll catch you guys in the next one.